So Kirby Fighter 2 was leaked by Nintendo themselves, and a Smash Bros. DLC advertisement has appeared. I was kinda hoping that a mini Nintendo Direct was on the horizon, but seeing as Nintendo just announced Kirby Fighter 2 on Twitter, I don't think we are getting one. Which is kind of a bummer, but I guess that's just the reality. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we cover the latest gaming news, leaks, and rumors from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in 2020 and beyond. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, make sure you click that red subscribe button below this video and that notification bell so you know when I upload. So today's topics include a new game that was leaked out by Nintendo, more Nintendo Switch Pro rumors, Microsoft buying Bethesda, which is huge for Xbox, another amazing hire for Metroid Prime 4, and some more news on what exactly is going on with these Spider-Man PS4 saves and the Spider-Man PS5 remaster. And first up, let's talk about that Nintendo leaked game. So it's like I said 2 videos ago, Nintendo has been pretty good at announcing new Nintendo Switch games lately. Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Story 2, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity have all been announced. And they're all coming before 2021, which is a far cry from the barren wasteland that we were in when we barely had any Nintendo news or first party news. And sure, we did have Animal Crossing New Horizon and Paper Mario and the Origami King, which don't even get me started on that game, but it wasn't our usual output of Nintendo news that we usually get from Nintendo. And it seems like Nintendo is in high gear, or more of a mid gear I should say, and this Nintendo leak is yet another proof of that. So if you haven't heard yet, this seems to be from Nintendo themselves, who accidentally put a listing for Kirby Fighter 2, which means Nintendo leaked their own game, which is really weird. I'm pretty sure someone is getting fired right about now. Now Kirby Fighters, for those who don't know, is a mini game from Kirby Triple Deluxe, which is sort of a Smash Bros. Kirby game that I've actually never got a chance to play, but I do love Kirby games, so I think I'll probably pick this game up eventually. Which, now that I think about it, I haven't played a lot of the 3DS Kirby games too. But anyways, I'm getting a bit off topic. Now Kirby Fighter 2 will most likely be a full-fledged game, and it's going to be priced at $19.99. So it's not going to be a full-blown game, but it is still a full game. It's more of a mid-tier game. Now, a little after this new Nintendo Switch leak that happened by Nintendo themselves, they released it on the very same day with a Twitter announcement recently. So if you want to check out Kirby Fighter 2, Nintendo has released it, and it's on the eShop right now. And moving on to some Nintendo Switch Pro news, which I'll probably have somewhere in the thumbnail, hopefully I can squeeze it in there. There have been many Nintendo Switch Pro rumors that keep popping up for some reason. You have the one where Nintendo is telling third-party partners to get their games 4K ready, yes, the actual games themselves for a Switch Pro. And then there's one where they say the Switch Pro is coming in the first quarter of 2021, which means it would be between January and March, which is very soon, just in time for next gen actually. Which, if you want to be kept up on these Switch Pro rumors, I'll leave a whole list of all those videos that I've done covering them in the top right corner. Now, if you're wondering why I mentioned this Nintendo Switch Pro rumor, it has a lot to do with the retail information that we got from this new Nintendo Switch Pro retail listing. So if you haven't heard yet, an online retailer added a mention of a Nintendo Switch Pro on their website, which the photo is right here. Now, taking into account the rumors that I spoke of before about Nintendo telling partners to get their games 4K ready, and then that other Nintendo Switch Pro rumor where they say it's going to be coming in the first quarter of 2021, and these listings, it makes a lot of sense that they're popping up. If that rumor is to be believed and it's coming out between January and March, which isn't fact, it's based on a rumor, so don't take that as fact, then retail listings isn't too far of a stretch. Now, of course, on the flip side, this could be a mistake. Some person who runs this site could have easily written Pro for whatever reason and wasn't supposed to. But if it wasn't a mistake and the person did it because there is a Switch Pro coming very soon, that means we could be getting a Switch Pro reveal in 2021, even as early as January, if these rumors about the Nintendo Switch Pro coming in Q1 of 2021 are true, which I highly doubt because that seems really early, but you never really know when it comes to rumors because they can go either way. I mean, remember that Mario rumor that I covered that said the reveal for the Super Mario 35th Anniversary Direct was going to happen that week? The place it came from was a place that we would think would be fake and didn't really have any credibility, but it happened that week, so stranger things have happened. Which makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because next gen is rolling around the corner, and even though the Nintendo Switch is getting third-party games, we know that Nintendo needs a stronger console to run these futuristic games that we're going to be playing on the Xbox Series X and PS5. And it's not just for resolution and frame rate, but other parts of video games like AI and physics. Now keep in mind, when it comes to the Nintendo Switch Pro, everything you hear about it is a rumor and not fact, so anything that I or any YouTuber or journalist says is not fact unless it's coming straight from Nintendo. And moving on to our next topic, we have some Xbox news. You know what, actually, let me change the music to something more smooth. I'll be right back. There we are. So if you haven't heard yet, Xbox has gotten its hands on Bethesda for $7.5 billion. Jeez, what I could do with that amount of money. Now this is huge for Xbox. But why is this huge for Xbox, you may be asking? Well, it's huge because Bethesda owns Doom, elderscrolls, oh, and they also own freaking Fallout, guys. It's huge. I mean, I've seen a lot of people throwing around the idea of Fallout New Vegas 2, which I've never actually played Fallout New Vegas 1, so if everyone's going crazy over this, maybe I will. But there's another huge reason why this is a big move from Microsoft. This means that games like elderscrolls, a new Doom, a new Fallout that's not 76, hopefully, and so on will be on Game Pass day one, along with EA Play with EA Games, which will be really nice. I mean, you pair that with the Xbox Series S, which is only $299, or the financed Xbox Series X, which you can pay monthly along with Game Pass, and you get a very good next-gen experience for a very good price. I mean, not only for Xbox players, but PC players too, because you can get Game Pass on PC too, so it's great for PC players too. Now, there are a couple questions that you have to ask, like what happens to Doom Eternal port on the Nintendo Switch, or are Bethesda games going to be exclusive to Xbox? Which luckily we already know. Phil Spencer has confirmed with Bloomberg that Bethesda will honor all existing commitments before this deal. That means games like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, which have been promoted as PS5 exclusives, will remain PS5 exclusives. And most likely will be the same with Doom Eternal, because it probably will continue to release on Nintendo Switch, especially because it's Xbox and Nintendo has been buddy-buddy for the past year or two, I think. But that's not where the craziness stops. Oh no, they said that they could even buy more studios, which there is a rumor going around that Xbox is trying to buy Sega, and if they end up buying that, that's going to be even more insane. This really makes me happy that I got rid of all that fanboy junk years ago, and now I just enjoy games as a whole, except Stadia. We don't talk about that anymore. And switching over to the PlayStation side of things, we have some bad news for those who are interested in the Spider-Man PS4 remaster for the PS5. So for those who haven't heard yet, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales will include a copy of Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. Now, I know a lot of us have spent a lot of time in this game, and I know that a lot of us were hoping that we could play our new game plus on the brand new shiny PS5 with all its bells and whistles. But it seems that we won't be able to because one simple problem: Sony will not let us. Even though cross saves were a thing back on the PS Vita. It's recently come out that even though we'll be getting an upgraded version of Spider-Man PS4 along with Spider-Man Miles Morales, the data that we got from Spider-Man PS4 will not carry over to Spider-Man PS5, despite being the very same game. Now, your copy of Spider-Man PS4 will still be backwards compatible with Spider-Man PS5, so it's going to be interesting to see the difference between the two and how they play. But at the same time, this is just weird because we're going to be able to play Spider-Man PS4 on the PS5, so we're going to be having data on the PS5, but we won't get the free upgrade. It makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. Can someone please explain in the comment section if this makes any sense to you at all, because it doesn't to me. I mean, I remember back on the PS Vita when I had the Final Fantasy 13 2 remasters, and we were able to play the same exact file save on the PS Vita and on the PS3, so why can't we have that for the PS4 and the PS5? It makes no sense. Anyway, circling around back to Xbox Series X news, the Xbox Series X pre-orders have come and gone, and man, it was a disaster for a lot of people. Now, me personally, I didn't pre-order the Xbox Series X because honestly, I don't have the money right now. I already pre-ordered the PS5, I don't have another $500 laying around. But for those who did and tried, it was really difficult, and a lot of people didn't get an Xbox Series S or an Xbox Series X. Though I have heard that some people were saying that it was pretty easy, but for some it was pretty difficult. Now, among the problems that people were encountering, it was sites crashing, things were disappearing from the carts, and so on. I mean, some couldn't even get the website to load. And then you have some outlets not having the pre-orders up yet, like Amazon and Best Buy, and it's just a giant mess, just like the PS5. Now, Xbox gave people a heads up beforehand, but unfortunately this also gave scalpers a heads up too. And along with scalpers, you get bots in, and when you get bots, you get a lot of traffic. If you go on eBay right now, there's some overpriced Xbox Series S pre-orders that you can buy, which do not buy it. It's like 3 or 2 times the amount. Trust me, you will regret it even after you buy that Xbox Series S if you end up buying it double or triple the amount of the original price. Now, how exactly does this compare to Sony and the PS5 pre-order? Well, a little bit better actually. People actually were able to get in line in stores and buy them. Unfortunately, a lot of stores did have low stock for the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X, so there's that too though. Now on the flip side, the PS5 pre-order, you didn't have that heads up, so you weren't able to stay in line like 4 hours before like Dreamcast guy did, which actually had its benefits because that went against scalpers, so it's kind of a double-edged sword for both companies really. And Sony did come out and apologize for the mess, which is good on them, even though they did say that they would give us time before the PS5 pre-orders, but still good on them for recognizing their mistakes. So what do you guys think about today's topic? Tell me in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Robo Gaming for more gaming news from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Thanks for watching guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.